We're starting a recording from ICIWorld, and we have quite a few brokers online, under 20, between, I think it's around 15 at the moment, brokers that are online and listening in on how to promote your website, conducted by ICIWorld over the internet. We're all using USB headsets and microphones, and some people might have called in by telephone because you can do that with these webinars, and we're going to get underway now. And so the session today is now fully underway as of this second. Here we go. And who am I? Well, you can find out who we are by subscribing with the social media at ICIWorld.com. And we're going to just briefly show you that. If I can try to get out of here and open up a browser. And you're going to see the new website that has come up here. If you click on home at ICIWorld.com and go down to the very, very bottom, you'll see that the Facebook is here, the LinkedIn, the Twitter, the YouTube, and the Google+. Now, we send messages about search engine optimization and a lot of other things through these different media. Now, for anyone that does not have social media, it becomes important to help you generate leads for your website. It's called inbound marketing. These are all inbound marketing. So you want to link up and get your LinkedIn working most of all. That's the first most important thing. And if you don't have any social media, you must have LinkedIn no matter what. LinkedIn is like your business card to the world. It's like saying, these are my credentials. I'm a legitimate, professional real estate salesperson working with Royal LePage or Remax or whatever company you're with, and that you're competent, you're in the business, you're a member of the Canadian Real Estate Association if you're in Canada, or you're a member of the National Association of Real Estate if you're in the United States, and that you belong to your state organization or provincial organizations such as AREA in Ontario, and then you have local real estate boards, whether it's Orange County in Florida or whatever, or the Toronto Real Estate Board if you're in Toronto. And when people see all that, they can expect a certain level of service from you that's competent. Keep in mind the rest of the world does not have licensed real estate salespeople in it, and it's a free-for-all out there, and there's no guarantee of success when you buy a property. In fact, I'm hearing nothing but horror stories from people buying and selling properties in the rest of the world. Sometimes even the registrations are fake and fictitious and all those kinds of things. So having a LinkedIn presence legitimizes you and your website. Keep in mind, when you're on ICIWorld, you are a global realtor now. People from all over the world are visiting all the information here, and then they might see something that they like. Don't expect them to call you right away. They wonder who they are dealing with. So if you have a presence on the internet with LinkedIn and you've been there for a while, it shows stability that you're not fly-by-night, and that's very important. Facebook does it all too. Twitter, you're going to get messages the odd time from us. We send out, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 a week, 4 a week maybe at the most. YouTube, you should connect in with that because we have different movies and videos. We produce a TV program that will come through the YouTube link that you see here. And then we're getting into Google+, and there's a lot of collaboration techniques that you can use in your local business for Google+. So Facebook and all of these social medias are absolutely essential because Facebook itself has exceeded the number of hits and number of people using it, I think, in the world today, right up there with Google. So that's very important that you kind of try to get into these things, especially your circle of friends, your circle of family. You think about it. Every one of you has at least 200 people that you know when you go to a wedding or some kind of an event, people that you start to meet, extended members of family. Those are all people that if they connect in with your Facebook and see your family members and how you're related and what city you came from and all the people that you know are interrelated, next thing you know, because you've got your website on your Facebook page, they will visit your website, and all of a sudden they're going to see this beautiful website with thousands of homes from MLS, thousands of homes that are exclusive, that other brokers don't have. Then you're going to have commercial listings that are on MLS, but then you'll have commercial listings that are exclusive. So you're going to end up with properties that are exclusive and MLS on your website that will interest these people with slideshow displays and photos. And bingo, if they just see it, bingo, next thing you know, you're going to get a call because they see how well connected you are into the marketplace of buyers, and it all starts from these special little social media buttons. Let's move on. You can see that there's a lot of good things going on the internet here to connect you. It's just amazing, and most of these services are just literally next to nothing in terms of cost, but very, very reasonable when there is some costs. Okay, let's move on. Let's now go back to the presentation and continue on. Let me go back up here. Okay, so subscribing, you can start with ICIWorld.com, subscribing to that. Now, one of the things we did some time ago is we attended a World Search Engine Optimization Convention where we spent $4,000 to go to the Las Vegas Hilton Convention Center to learn what these World Search Engine Optimizers do. And what we found, there was 1,000 what we call search engine people, nerds, so to speak, computer geeks kind of thing. And they were all in a room, and the people making the presentation was the Microsoft networks, Yahoo, Google, and all of these people were making presentations. And we learned over a period of a week all the things that go into a website that can help optimize your website so that more people will go to your website. In that room, there was only 2 real estate people, one from California, a gentleman, and another one from Toronto, and that was me. And we attended those things. And so a lot of the information that we have gathered here today and are going to share with you shortly has been gathered and learned from attending some of these World Search Engine conventions. But in addition to that, there's a lot of other things you can be doing. It's not just search engine optimization, and you're going to find out today. We're going to be opening your eyes how you can be promoting your business, because your website is your office building on the internet, and you can be promoting it quite nicely in a number of different ways. We've also been learning from working with other members, and you're going to see the results of some of this. In fact, we have some research tools. There's no way that we can cover absolutely everything today because there's just too much to learn. However, we can give you the resources today, and that's what we're going to do. We have some special resources for all members that over the next year you can be consulting these resources and start to break it down and start to go what I call one step at a time. And if you do one thing and it starts to work, you can move on to something else. If you try to do them all at once, it's kind of difficult. And then you can come back to these monthly sessions and ask questions on these, learning what works and what does not work. And if you want to get inspired, just read the testimonials. Some of you have never seen these testimonials. I'm still amazed to this day, but thank you for joining anyways. But if we go up here, we made a special button here called testimonials, and you can read of the deals that are going on. When we do this show at the Toronto Real Estate Board, which is the largest show of its kind in the world, more products and exhibitors, the most number of people attending a function, and you'll see it at the Toronto Real Estate Board called Realtor Quest every year. It's one of our busiest shows. It's the busiest show of the whole year, each year. And you're going to read about testimonials, people coming up to our booth and telling me, Gary, I just sold this, I just sold that. And all of these deals, we're starting to put a few of them on here so you can get a flavor of the deals that are going on. Well, that shows you the power of the internet. The power of the internet is helping do these deals. Now, in this particular case, the concept of asking 3 questions to somebody has helped Doris Francis make $54,000 within 90 days of learning the 3 questions. We're not going to talk about that today, but we are going to talk about the websites and how they kind of work and how to get more people coming to them. Okay. This is all cutting-edge technology. There's new things happening all the time, and there's new things coming your way. I can tell you over the next year or two what we've got in mind to just keep continuing to build this service. I'm very, very excited about it, and I want to thank each and every one of you for having faith in us to help grow this service. And whatever you do, please know our pledge. This pledge is very, very important. And I want to make sure that everyone knows this, because this is not a fly-by-night type service. This service has been around since 1994, and we have a special pledge now that no member should go longer than 90 days without either doing business, either a deal, but at the very minimum developing good business relationships with someone. Otherwise, you call us. if you're sick and you don't call the doctor, you can't get help. So in other words, if you're not doing some business every 90 days, you give us a call. There are a number of things we can help you with. I'm not going to go into them. I'm just going to show you if you want them. It's called material defects. This is the most common areas of improvements. And we've listed them all here. If you do these things, you're going to do business. But if you don't do these things, you can be missing opportunities to do deals and not even know it. Okay. Now, the website is literally your office on the internet. If you all had a very rich uncle, and that rich uncle gave you an office, a $10 million office building on Yonge Street in Toronto, and they say, here, this is your building, and he passed away and he left it in his will to you. If you had a website, it's exactly the same thing. That office building, you would not know how to operate it. You wouldn't know how to turn the lights on or how to keep the thing heated. Well, the same thing is true when you first get a website. You don't know it. And so there's a little manual that teaches you how to use the website. Once the website is built, the rest of your life should actually be promoting that website with a passion. Why? Because the highest return on investment of any real estate or of any industry that is on the internet is actually for real estate, because one lead can make you a lot of money. And it can make you 3,000, 10,000, 20,000, 100,000. We have people here who've actually made over $1 million in commissions from making connections through the internet. And you can do it too, depending on your haves and wants. If you get the right haves on here and you put them on and somebody with money connects with you, bingo, you can go show it. Just, it's happening every day here. The connection's going on. This is your business. Now, when it comes to your website, it's up to you to start promoting your website, to send the buyers to your website. When you join ICIWorld, you'll actually not send people to ICIWorld ever again. You will only send people to your own website. And that way, when they go there, if they see something they're interested in from the widgets that we install on your website, these widgets contain the information that is on ICIWorld. Other brokers have agreed to allow their listings to be on your website. This is fantastic. It's like having all the classified ads of the Toronto Star for the last 10 years on your website. It's just like having your own classified ad service of all the properties and opportunities that there are in the business, with one difference: you're the one that gets the calls. Very, very exciting. Now, what good is having a website if you don't have any traffic? That's really the subject of today's session. So today's session, it's how to promote with a passion almost daily, and I'll show you how you work it into your regular scheme of things. Because once everything is built here, there's only 3 things you have to do. Number 1, if you have one of our websites, you must log into it a minimum of once a month. That will keep your website active. That will keep your listings current. Number 2, and you only have to do that a minimum of once a month for at least 5 or 10 minutes, update your handshakes, make sure everything's working properly, check your links on your website, make sure they're working, and go from there. The next thing is you want to search and add your listings from time to time. That's a given. That's easy to understand. But the third thing you should do once everything is set up here is to promote your website with a passion for the rest of your life. And we're going to be covering what are some of these things that go into passion. So, having a website optimized is absolutely very important. Having links to listings on your website is absolutely important. Logging in a minimum of once a month to your website is important. Looking after your to-do list when you log into your website is important. And a lot of these things are in the monthly checklist that we send out to you. So you can look for that monthly checklist. Now, you must have a minimum of 1 to 2 listings on your personal website and at least 15 on ICIWorld. 15 on ICIWorld is easy because it's information. It's not just listings. If you wonder what we're talking about, just listen to video number 2 in the training programs. If anybody has a question and they need to stop me, simply unmute your phone and ask the question. That's all you have to do, and then I can go over that question for you. Now, I'm going to ask two other people here. Latif, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay,
Can you hear me?
I need you. Yes, I do. But I need you to mute your phone. Everyone else is muted except for yourself and Raf Maradia. If you could mute your phone at the top right corner of your screen, you're going to see a green microphone,
Okay, right.
Latif. Just click on the green microphone, please. Thank you. And then
This one?
Rav, yep, you did it. Wait a minute. And then Latif, you haven't done it yet. You need to click on the green microphone, Latif, at the top right corner, under the red arrow.
Oh, here.
Okay, good show. You've all done it, people, and I'm going to also ask Kathy. Kathy, can you please mute your phone?
Yeah, it was, but now.
Okay, please mute your phone. Okay, thank you. And one more. Rav Meridia, could you please mute your phone? Rav Meridia, can you please mute your phone? Rav? Okay, so I'm going to have to do that for you, Rav, because I don't hear you. So maybe you're listening, but maybe you don't have your microphone. So I'm just going to mute you out. The reason we do that, people, there's a lot of background noise in every one of your households. You could have dogs barking. We've had birds chirping and just, all kinds of things, and somebody doing the dishes in the background, and that's all well and good as long as you mute your phone. Otherwise, it bothers everyone else in the webinar. So whenever you come into a webinar, I personally like to unmute you all. That way, if you have a question, simply unmute unmute the green button there on your computer, and you can ask a question and stop me and just ask a question, and people will enjoy having questions being asked during here. So I want you to feel comfortable to ask questions as we go along. So then, having these 1 to 2 listings on your website is very important, because other brokers will agree to allow their handshakes to be on your website, to be their listings on your website. The more listings you have on your website, the more opportunities you have to trigger leads. And all of these links that are going back and forth, that actually helps you, because linking to other websites and having other websites linked to you, that actually helps you with the search engine algorithms. Algorithms is a word that Google uses. It's an arithmetic, I don't know how to say that quick enough, but it calculates why your website should get higher in the search engines over other websites. Well, if you have more links linking to your website than other websites, Google says, well, you must have more people interested in your website, so therefore your information might be more relevant. And so therefore having links of other people linking to your website can actually be good. So you can have all of the contractor suppliers that you do business with, mortgage brokers, and all of these people, have them linked to your website if they have a website. And that can kind of help you. Now, the other thing is, if you put a listing on the website, you must have at least 5 photos. And for some people that don't have it, there's something special called a DDF feed from Korea. It's called Data Distribution Facility. That means that when you hand in an MLS listing, it will automatically go onto your website if you have one of the websites from ICIWorld. So keep that in mind. It's called DDF feed. If you don't have it, give us a call, make an appointment. Anything you need done, just make an appointment with our office. We have 3 staff going to 4, and you just make an appointment with anyone here, and we'll give you the half-hour workshop to help get things going. Now, the other thing a lot of people are forgetting are the wants here to receive new listings. Now, when you place a want on ICIWorld, your website address is in the link in that want. So if somebody clicks on it and wants to see you, they can click on that want, and bingo, it can go right to your website. So theoretically, you can place wants out there, and you could say that you also have other properties on your website available. Every one of you should have resources, big time button, that not many of you have given great attention to yet, but we are promoting it. At the ICIWorld level, when we promote to the world, we tell everybody that get a hold of the local brokers in an area. If you're in Richmond Hill, you're in Markham, or you're in Mississauga, wherever you are, you should have a lot of resources so that if somebody is coming in from another country, that they can look up. What are the shopping centers? What are the schools? What are the places of worship, the churches, the schools, the parks, the recreation, the police department, the hydro company? All of these things should be resources on your individual website. And the websites that we built for you have a resource links button. And although some of you have what we call the express website limited to 15 buttons, the resource button is not limited to 15. You can have 100 links in there. It can be a very, very special page. Plus, every one of your pages, you can make another special page that you can put links on the page. So keep in mind, there's a workaround to do everything here to get it all working for you. But the big thing is have lots of resources. If you want to say how to calculate the land transfer tax, mortgage calculate, all of these things can be on your website to help people. So that when we say get a hold of a local broker in that area, if they go right to your website and they can see all the local information, that helps them become very familiar with the area, and they're going to have a lot more respect for you because you're going to be able to help them move into that area and find a property and help them get settled in. Now, without listings, they say, why should people call you? Well, in the beginning, before these websites were up, if you didn't have a listing, you were out of business. But today, you are no longer out of business, people. Each of you is like Sears. Mind you, Sears is going down the drain a little bit right now. Sorry to hear. It's been such a wonderful company, but hopefully they'll come back. The point is that when I say you're like Sears, you're like a storefront. A website is like a storefront. Without listings, you have an empty store. Most brokers today, in a lot of cases, either have an empty store or they advertise something, but the links are there to other brokers so that, bingo, somebody comes to your website and goes right through your store, right to the other broker because they see the contact name and number of the listing and get the other broker. What you know, all of you know, is that special from ICIWorld, we design your website so that people cannot click on the listings, and that gives you, each of you, an opportunity to build your own business, that you can promote your business, and then how much you promote it, you will get the benefit of that because people have to call you. They can't click on the message numbers. But the listings is really what you're advertising. Now, I don't know when was the last time you went through all the links on your listings and made a note. That you have 200 shopping centers for sale. You have maybe 30 homes in Mississauga between a price range of such and such and such and such that are exclusive, not on real estate boards. You have lists of buyers, and you can say, I've got over 200 buyers of apartment buildings on my website. Those are things that show how well connected you are in the marketplace of buyers. Well, people will go to your website when you tell them that, when you convey that, and you can convey that to them in all kinds of ways. You can have it in your emails that you send out, and we're going to go through some of the different ways that you can convey it. So, is it possible that today people are missing opportunities to do business and not realize it? You bet. And over the next 1, 2, 3 years, the people that don't have a mobile website, they're just missing out. So having your website mobilized is actually very, very important, and that's because there's more mobile devices today on the planet Earth than there are humans, and you want to make sure that you have a mobilized website. So your websites all have commercial and residential. I know people that are residential, they'll say, why do I need commercial? Well, you're all licensed in the province or state that you got your license in. If somebody calls you on a commercial property, you can do a referral. The referrals can sometimes make you more money than your regular business throughout the year. We've had one broker who has done 15 referrals, 75 minutes of his time, and he made $45,000 just doing referrals. So it's very exciting. Everybody should be generating. If you haven't done them yet, you're about to, and you should, as long as you get some traffic to your website. And that's, of course, what today's seminar is all about. What are some of the links to listings that trigger leads? There they are. Even FSBOs. Now the FSBOs trigger leads. You can end up doing double enders, and we've got stories of people doing double enders. We've got other stories where somebody saw they got a buyer from the FISBO on ICIWorld, went to the MLS and found a building. So there's many ways that this works with all the other services in the industry. You can tell people you've got power of sales on your website. And then, of course, you will have the IDX link if it's available from your real estate board, the DDF feeds from your national association so that when you hand in a listing, it automatically goes on your website. And, of course, the MLS listings that can come from the other members of our website company, namely the company that supplies all the listings on the website. And you're going to get those MLS listings from other brokers who agree to allow them to be on your website as well. And you're going to have residential and residential exclusives. I've seen more residential exclusives come for sale today than ever before. And I think that's because people feel that they know how to operate the internet. They know how to market on the internet. And a lot of them are a lot more internet savvy than the real estate person. So they're saying, why should I pay $10,000 or $20,000 to a real estate person who doesn't even have or know how to handle the internet? The internet is where it's at. Now, the problem comes in when they try to go on the internet, they have a lot of challenges. But when you're on the internet, you're plugged into a major global real estate brokers network. When you put a listing on ICIWorld, it's instantly on 1,000 other brokers' websites. They do not have that. When you put a listing on ICIWorld, there's 20,000 emails go out that day within 24 hours. They do not have that. So you've got tremendous power to market. I call it the ultimate in marketing on the internet between the combination of ICIWorld and Working Information and the MLS systems that you all belong to, if you can get it listed on MLS as well. Let's move on. So reasons why people are not getting leads: it could be lack of listings, things are not structured properly, the addresses could be showing, and in almost every case that I check someone who has not made money on ICIWorld, I find all of these items missing. They have no traffic to their website. They've never spent more than $25 ever. Not even the 25 they haven't spent, zero, on search engine optimization. And yet, getting traffic to your website, one lead, can make you $5,000 or $10,000. So today we will talk about pay-per-click and why you should experiment with it. But I'm going to speak to you about how to experiment with pay-per-click, because you must get results. If you're not getting results, then you shouldn't be doing it. However, that's not my approach. My approach is a little different. If you're not getting results from pay-per-click with Google, I would call Google and say I'm not getting results. Here I have a website. I've got thousands of listings, and I'm getting traffic to my website and nobody even called me? I don't think so. If people go to your website and they're looking for real estate and they see a listing, they cannot click through to the other broker because of the way we've set it up. They have to call you. As far as I'm concerned, the measurement of how pay-per-click works is the phone calls that you get. If you're not getting people contacting you, then that pay-per-click is not working and there is something wrong. Now, people say, well, what could be wrong if I got 1,000 clicks? Well, in the past, one thing that was analyzed and found was pay-per-click fraud. Your competition ended up clicking 500 times on your pay-per-click just so that you would drop off and use your budget up, and then his ads would appear. But over time, there was the problem was analyzed and identified, and Google came up with a solution because people didn't want to do this. A solution was that Google recognizes an IP address, and today, if an IP address clicks on one of the pay-per-clicks ads, it only counts once. So if a person clicked on it 20 times, it still only counts once. The other things are people have handshakes, other brokers that are allowing their listings to be on your website, and you haven't checked your handshakes past 30 days, so you're actually missing listings. If somebody visits your website and they don't find something, maybe it was one of the listings that was in those handshakes that you have not approved. So you see, people, there is a responsibility on the part of each and every one of you, not just you on the line today, but the whole industry, to look after your information that is on your website and to get and to maximize it as well. And it takes people up to a year to do these handshakes is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months, 9 months. To do the search engine optimization, once it's placed, it takes time. And it takes time to things to gradually grow. I'm going to be sending you all, after this is over, Forbes top 10 items that you should do to help promote your website. It's from Forbes. I'm going to send it to you. And you're going to see that they even say it can take months to get your website optimized and get it up there. And there's many things that you can do, and I will send that to each of you after this session. Actually, what I'll do is I'll post it into our training videos area. That'll be a lot easier. I'm going to put it in a training videos area, and you can go and check it. I'll do it within 20 minutes of finishing this session, and we'll get that done for you. There's other articles in there too that are excellent, and we'll be showing you that. The other thing you want to do is to frame listings within your website, and I'm going to show you the difference of framing right now. Framing things means that when people visit your website, and I'm going to go to for members, and for members, all of you should get to for members at one time or another and go through all of the items that are on this page. And you notice all of these items as a member are all yours. These are all things for you. There's 32 different items here, 34, 35 different items here that all are things to help you take advantage of the internet. I know it's a lot, but if you break it down and go down and through it slowly, one by one, you'll kind of get through them all, and you'll see that there's little things you can be doing. And then all of a sudden, something will light up. A little switch will go on in your head, and the light bulb goes on and says, bingo, you do that. Next thing you know, you get a call, you're showing a property, writing an offer, and doing a deal. It's just incredible when the stuff starts to happen. So yeah, it's something new, and we're teaching you all how to do it. One of the things is called widgets. Widgets to power up your website. And what I'm talking about framing is this. I'm going to go down to other good website companies other than ICIWorld. There's some of them there. Now, when I click on one of these, for instance, up comes a website, and this could be anyone's website that you see on the screen. These are called widgets, all of these here. Now, if I click on residential haves and wants, watch what happens. It comes up within a frame. This is called a frame because this is a frame around the content. It doesn't pop into a separate page with this information where people can go up to the URL up here and see that it's from ICIWorld. They see this frame, and then if they want the latest listings coming on here, they click on it. Again, all they see is the listing. They don't see the URL. So yeah, can that be the difference of helping you do a deal? It's possible. It's possible because they can't see it. And so they end up giving you a call. So framing it should be done. Some of you do not have it framed within your website. And so that's another reason why some people are not getting leads. The next thing I hear about, and I'm hearing this from the public, that the public is calling salespeople and they can't get them. They left messages. I get people say I've called them 1, 2, 3 times, and I get no response. I get nobody calling back. And it's just amazing the way some people are getting calls and just not returning their calls. So unfortunately, that's just some of the things that are happening in the business. But people wonder why they're not doing deals sometimes, because you don't have the proper connection services with telephones and passing messages along and ensuring that you get a message that you can follow up or not following up. So it's very, very important. Okay, let's move. Then I found another one. The listings, some of the listing buttons, this isn't happening as much. It used to be a problem in the past that the buttons for the listings were so well hidden that nobody saw it. So we had some interesting designers design a website, but the buttons were almost hidden. People didn't even know they were there. You'd had to search and really be, a really search detective to find some of the links before you could get them. You want to make these links very easy to find. If they're easy to find on your website, people can click on them. Now, I know some people feel that having links on your website to how to be a good gardener, how to build a fence, how to have a nice barbecue, and how to keep your grass greener than normal, those can be interesting things. And I see lots of people have all kinds of tips and tricks and home suggestions, improvements, etc. That's well and good, but I'm going to take it from the point of view that one of the main reasons to have a website is to trigger leads. And leads, if somebody calls you on a listing, to me, those are like spark plugs. These links that we supply you are like spark plugs for a car. If you don't have spark plugs, the car will not go. If a couple of spark plugs are not working, your car doesn't go. Well, the spark plugs are the listings, in my opinion, to get your websites all going. And we're going to continue on and show you how to do that. Now, this is very important, people, because after today's session is over, you're going to say, oh my God, what the heck did he talk about today? Because I know there's a lot of stuff to talk about. Well, guess what? All of this is available in the training videos. And let's show you where they are so that you can actually find them on your own time. Again, we go back to the starting place, ICIWorld.com. That name, we also have a name that's coming along that's going to be a World Real Estate Network type name. You'll see that as we grow further in 2015. It will be rolled out at that time, but it's just continuing to grow. But ICI World is a name that was registered in 1994. Now, why is that important? The reason why it's important is because the longer you have a domain name registered with Google, that counts in their algorithm. Now, we used to have a name, as you know, called ICIWorld.net. And if I go up here, wait a minute, let's just do a search right here, right now. And if I do a search for, let's say, commercial real estate, we used to be on the front page up until the beginning of this year. And we got bounced off the front page. The reason is that we changed the name. And when you change a name and do something different, you get bounced off and things happen. So ICIWorld.net, although we've been on the front page all these years, one of the important things that's been told to us by a couple of vice presidents of former vice presidents of Google was the length of the time that you're on the internet, which ICIWorld.com was actually the first registration almost of a real estate company on the internet in 1994. Well, we changed the name, and it takes time to get back to the front page. We got bounced right off the front page. We had a lot of dead links when we changed over, and believe me, we went through a turmoil here getting back. You will notice that we are now on the second page. It's taken 5 months to get back to the second page. I fully expect that we're going to be back on the front page in due time here, but it's taken time to get back. So you'll notice that when we search ICI or search commercial real estate, up here at the top, there were 363 million results. Now, we got bounced off the front page. We were not even showing up around on page 11 and 15. It was terrible. But now you'll see that if I go to page 2, that we're back up to the 1, 2, 3, 4, fourth one on page 2 here, and we're coming up. So when people click on that. Now, why is this important? We're actually on 18,000 pages, people, throughout the internet. People can search certain keywords, and our website information comes up. It's not just the website. People can search specific things. So if people actually wanted to search, say, believe it or not, cottages can even come up here. I'm going to show residential. If I go to residential and then go down the page and I click on keyword, you can find that cottages come up here. Where is it here? Right here, cottages. And if I was to highlight them all with a Control F, type in cottage, you'll see all the cottages that are coming up here. So in other words, you also have all of these cottages, believe it or not, on your website. If somebody calls you on a cottage, you can do a referral if you don't want to show it. Or somebody might call you and you might want to hop in a car and go show it yourself. Now, people can actually search the word cottage, and believe it or not, this page can actually come up of cottages. Now, how that happens, believe me, there's so many things going on here. I've been an original real estate broker for 40 years. I'm learning more about the back end, but I'm not on the back end. I'm helping to get people to do the back end. I'm just showing it that there's a lot of good stuff going on where people can find you with keywords and all kinds of things. If people type in gas stations or hotels, the same thing is true here. That's why you see all of these keywords on here where people can search these things. And if they want restaurants, bingo, you'll see a couple of hundred restaurants come up here. This is also important for you to know so that you can tell people that you've got these kind of restaurants on your website. So if you're, anytime you go out for dinner, make sure you leave your business card with that owner. Let them know that you got a website with buyers and sellers of restaurants. You never know when they might call you, and you can do a referral to those people. And so I was going to show you where these training videos are. And these training videos are located, again, you go to ICIWorld up here. And I'm going to go to login over here. And this login page will also be modified over time, and we'll be making it look more like our regular ICIWorld.com page. But right now, this is serving the purpose. It's color-coded so that when we're training over the internet, we can say, look for the red diamonds on the left-hand side, on the green column. These are all things that members do. You can log in and log out, my record and renew memberships, add listings, my listings, and click on the latest world commercial listings, for instance. Click on the latest world residential listings, for instance. Right up to the second. These were put on maybe just minutes ago, and you'll see 50 to 150 new ones a day. Training videos, people, I can't explain how important this is. Get into this, and then we're going to just log in, and I'll, oopsie daisy, it looks like I'm going to have to log in using my own credentials here. Okay, let's do it. Hang on 1 second. And hope I can remember my own credentials. Here we go. Bingo. And you get into, I'm just going to stop that right there. That's a new password program and that I'm using and trying to use. And if anybody has a good password program, let me know. I need one that works across multiple platforms. If you have one, let me know afterwards. I'm experimenting with that. I've never really felt great and secure. Passwords have always been in my Google, in my BlackBerry, which I have trusted and still trust. But because we're moving to different platforms, I've got to get them out of BlackBerry and into another format. Okay, let's move on. You'll notice that we do, by the way, recommend that you get through videos number 2 to 7 right away. But when you go down here, you're going to see two important things. One is domain names. You should all mark that down. Number 17. It's 22 minutes long. And if you click on it, you'll see it's domain names. You can watch it on a YouTube video, or you can watch it in WMV format. This is important for some people that have a very slow connection. People with satellites, and we've had people, and believe it or not, up in Mongolia that joined the service and they were getting it, but very slow. They would actually download the video and listen to it the next day. So it might take 2-3 hours to download it. For most of you, that will not happen. It'll load a lot faster. And for most of you, actually, just listening to it on YouTube will be enough. But acquiring your business domain name is the first step. This is going to explain it. We're going to go into and explain what's in some of those videos right now. But I want to go back here to number 15. Number 15 is very important for you. After you finish today's session, there is the reference, people. Segment 5, how to promote your website. It's number 15 in the training videos. And you're going to see that we have recorded some of these videos from before. The session that I'm doing today, we are recording it, and I'll put that up here sometime as well. But some of these other sessions we have recorded here, and you'll see them as you go along, recorded in YouTube format. When you go down further, you'll see how to promote your website right here, and you're going to see the printout of what we're doing today. You can actually click on that and print it out. You're also going to see things here like how to market your website from point 2. I'm going to click on that. And remember I mentioned before, if you ever had a rich uncle and they gave you a $10 million office building and you didn't know what to do, this happens to be the manual to operate your $10 million office building, which I'm calling your website. Your office building is your website on the internet. This is a complete manual on how to operate your website. There it is. It's available from within your website if you got the one from us. It's very powerful because there is a contact management system in here. If somebody visits your website, asks for an article, bingo, you get a text message on your phone. You can call them right back. So people, what I'm finding is sometimes people were getting text messages and they beep, but they didn't know why the phone was beeping. Look at this is all about search engine optimization. It's all about how to get leads to your website. But then if you're not acting on it, what's happening is things are not getting done and people are wondering why. Well, I'm showing you the exact reasons why some of these things are happening from the school of hard knocks, from learning it the hard way over the years, and why some people, all of a sudden, when you learn these things, all of a sudden it's like a light switch turning on, things start to work for you. Well, it looks like there's a getting started button here, and one of the getting started buttons happens to be market your website. And look at that. They have a number of things: registering a proper domain name, adding listings, promoting your website in offline mediums. There they are. All of these different offline mediums, you can be promoting yourself. And let's talk about business cards. Do you have your website on your business cards? Get excited. The first sign of spring, when the weather's beautiful and you want to go out for a walk, take 1,000 business cards and go visit 1,000 businesses over the next month. Just handing out your business cards. Go into the new business opening up at 9:30 in the morning and go in and say hello to the proprietor who's opening up that business, no matter whether it's a bakery, a clothing store, a jewelry store, just whatever it is, and say, can you give this to the owner, and here's one for yourself. If you're ever looking or buying or selling a home, I happen to be working this whole area as a real estate person, just wanted to say hello. And by the way, if you have an email address, we send out a newsletter once in a while of what's going on in the area, different events that are happening in the area, upcoming charitable events, and maybe some, where they close the street down. And so you become a source of information for the area, and maybe they'll be inclined to either give you an email address or even collect their fax number. You can actually fax them once a month, once every 2 or 3 months, once a quarter, with the latest things happening in real estate, a list of some of the properties that may have sold, the ones that are for sale, some news about interest rates, some of the new properties available for sale. Those are things that people like to get. And then what's the latest interest rates and upcoming events? They like to get those things. And if you get their permission, it's basically 1 penny a quarter to receive a fax. And if you tell them you're sending them 4 a year, that's 4 cents, and they know that you come into a store to buy something, they'll probably keep receiving that fax because they know it's you and they get to know you. And so, yeah, keeping in touch by fax, believe it or not, can actually still work. Keeping in touch by email can also still work. But I'm finding that a lot of email is falling on deaf ears. There's a lot of email that's going to trash, that's going to spam, that's being blocked. And it's a real problem out there. So believe it or not, some of these other services still kind of help. Mail-outs, members cards, open houses. Big time, people, open houses. If you're doing residential real estate and you want some clients, do a couple of open houses. Your website can automatically send out new homes to people that are looking at open houses. If they're looking to buy a condo or a townhouse or something in an area, your website can send out the townhouses in that area. That's all part of getting traffic to go to your website, because if they do it, they can start telling their friends and relatives, why don't you get a list from this lady that's in real estate, and you get a list of these homes. They're beautiful. They can show them on their, you can search them on their iPhones and Androids and on their regular computers and iPads, and you've got the latest listings coming on the market being sent to them. You can do that from your open houses. It gets you more clients. That's promoting your website. On your vehicle, there's some vehicles that are wrapped, completely wrapped with advertising, with the website address and pictures of homes and all that kind of stuff. That's another way to do it. Some people are inclined to do it. Listen, if you get an extra buyer or 2 or 3 this year, it more than paid for itself. Newspaper ads, I wouldn't put in a newspaper ad without putting a website address and saying that you have thousands of homes with color photos and slideshow display, exclusive, and MLS. Put that in your ads. 1 extra, 2 extra lines. All of a sudden, somebody sees that one ad and says, oh, that's not for me. However, here's a website address that does have a lot of listings in it. Maybe I should go check that out. So how you do your newspaper ad can actually be critical. This is not a technical computer thing I'm saying. These are concepts in real estate. using marketing to your best advantage. Yeah, you can do MLS spotlights, newspaper inserts, park benches. You know, if you see a website address on a park bench, chances are you might just drive by because you don't have enough time to kind of, go to every single website address you see. But if you let it know that you've got exclusive and MLS, commercial and residential, and then you can put power of sales, assignments, cottages, just put something on it that you think will trigger some interest, waterfront properties. You have all of that on your website. People, you have a store. I talked about having a store like Sears. You should be advertising what's in the store. So when it comes around September, what do the stores offer? All stores, for that matter, they're offering goods for students to go back to work or back to school. And those are the kind of things. Winter things are coming in. Already they're going to start promoting spring fashions because spring's the good news today. Spring's less than 3 months away, people. There you go. Get your website address on all your listings. Include your website address. Partnering with other websites. So here's a lot of great ideas, and you're going to know that there's search engine optimization, doing a proper domain name. So they've got a lot of great ideas here on pay-per-click and doing things like that on all these different services. And that's from within the Point 2 website itself. Point 2 is a company out of Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. They've helped create over 300,000 real estate websites for professionals like yourself. And ICIWorld has is an official distributor, an official educator, and we are a first line of support. That way you get 2 levels of support. It's the same price whether you get it from Point 2 or from us, but if you get it from us, you get all the extra level of support from us, complete design, complete help, and we help you with this search engine optimization, and we help you design the website, and actually we stock it with the special widgets that help you make money. That's all the resources in video number 15. And when you play some of these things, get comfortable. Learn how to play them on your different devices. But whatever you do, don't play them on your 3G and don't play them on your LTE network. So if you're doing that, you will be charged bandwidth. And so you don't want to be charged bandwidth. So make sure that you promote them. Or when you're going to see these videos, make sure that you are on Wi-Fi because Wi-Fi is free. If you need help, there's a contact customer care. That's the manual that we show. It's within Point 2. Get a hold of them. They're available. And if you need help getting a hold of them, they're open from 9:30 to 5:30, 6 days a week for North America. That's Eastern time. And they're really great on support. And if you have any trouble with them, make sure you call us. Now, here's another big resource for you too. By the way, this session today is actually worthy of a one-day presentation, and we're going to ask each and every one of you to send us an email. Is it worth $100 to go to a one-day session on how to promote your website where we go into it in more detail? What we have taken is literally almost 20 years of knowledge and cramming it into 90 minutes. To be quite honest, it isn't as effective as if we had a whole day seminar where we can literally answer all kinds of questions and go through it in more detail, complete with handouts. But what we can do on this limited basis is to give you the resources to do these things, so the ones that are so inclined to try to follow things, do things on their own, can do so. So marking that website address down is important for you to do. Hopefully I've left it up enough time for you to do it. I'm going to click on it now and show you what's in it. And so the PowerPoint today is right here. That's the PowerPoint presentation for today. Reasons to work with a realtor. Why not put that on your website as well? So making your website more powerful, better, with resources, with listings, all of this is part of creating more desire for people to come back to your website and to build traffic to your website. We all know that if you had to give up either the internet or your TV, everybody would give up the give up the TV. There's always one in the room though that wouldn't. But people know that if you're on the internet, you can still watch TV. There's a way to do that. Internet world stats, it's quite astounding nowadays. If you go into the world statistics of what's happening out there, you'll see that the population of the world is around 7 billion. The internet users' latest data is 2.4 billion. And that gives you an idea. Basically, everybody's connected on the internet in one way, shape, or form. So the exciting news is the internet can help every single person. By the way, you see that program down, Join Me? That's a really neat program. You can have a meeting with someone, go over an offer while they're watching you change the offer and make changes and go through it. You could explain a whole offer to somebody with this Join Me program, and it's free. They can see your screen on your computer the same way you and I are doing webinar workshops right now, people. You can do it one-on-one. You can't do it with 1,000 people like I can because I have a paid version, but you can do it with a very free service one-on-one with the Join Me program. And then for a modest little investment, very reasonable, you can have up to 16 people, but you can learn all about that. That's with Join Me. Thought I would mention that in passing because it's a great little program. So lots of people on the internet, get excited. There's business to be done. All right. Next, education. The best tips from the world's top trainers is here. An encyclopedia, advertising guidelines, how to make long distance phone calls free, other seminars. And then, of course, we have fan page. And then there's other resource links here as well. And I'm going to click on that. And you'll see that there's other things that you can be going through here, other links that are of interest to promote your website. Resource Center for members only, stay connected. And I want to get into some of this social media. Now the social media, all of this stuff that's here, using Facebook to market real estate, that's part of promoting your website. Yes, pay-per-click is available. You can call Google Direct. We're going to talk about that. Everyone should be experimenting with it. I'll explain how it works. You can set a budget, and etc., and I'll cover that in a moment. And we're going to get into keywords and meta tags here in a moment. And if there's one person that's online that can log into their website, and I can use your website as an example to go in and change the meta tags and keywords, I would like to have you volunteer. I'd like a volunteer out of the audience to work on their website right now. But you got to be able to be logged into your website to do that. But how to integrate...
I'd be happy to do that, Gary.
Okay, who's that speaking, please?
It's Susan. I'd be happy to do that.
Okay, Susan, are you logged into your website? Can you get logged into your website?
Yeah.
If you can do that, and while I'm still continuing on, I'll switch the computer over to you, and then I will operate your computer and go in and search engine optimize your website. How's that?
Okay, that's great.
Okay, so we'll give it all a shot.
So I have to minimize the screen that you're doing now.
You can minimize it. It's okay. You won't see what I'm doing, but you can get your website. But you must be logged into your website. I don't want to have any login problems. In the meantime, people, I'm going to continue on, and you're going to see CNET News, How Tech. All of these things are all resources for everyone. How to attract customers with Facebook. Get the people to Facebook, get them to see your website. Bingo, it's bringing traffic into your Facebook. 20 Facebook tips and tricks, things that you might not know. All of these are things. I can't go into them today. It's already 12:03. We have 27 minutes left, and there's 105-point checklist to get your marketing on track. How to use LinkedIn and why. This is part of getting traffic to your website. If you don't have LinkedIn linked to your website, you're missing out. It's a no-brainer. It's something that you must do, and you should do it. And get your kids to kind of help you. Now, we're going to talk about Twitter and about blogging. Sending out articles to the industry can be very, very good. Now, we actually have a social media person that's on staff. It's $40 an hour to hire our person that's on staff. It goes in blocks of 10 hours. So if somebody wants social media help, 10 hours, getting your social media, getting it all set up, it's a $400 cost, and then they spend time with you setting up social media and doing work for you. We have only a limited number of people that we can take online. That's it. We can take on 1, 2, or 3 of you at the moment, and then she's totally busy working with people, helping people. So a limited number of people can subscribe to that if you wanted to. Or you try to learn to do it yourself here with LinkedIn, Twitter, blogging. You can monitor what people are saying. There's other seminars. And then, of course, we've seen these resources that we've come here. Now, I'm going to go all the way back, right back to, now, did you get logged in, Susan?
Yes, I did.
Okay. I'm going to be coming up to it in a moment here. You can come back to me if you want.
Okay.
Just sort of maximize that other screen that was minimized.
Okay.
Okay, and I want to cover the search engine optimization from Google. Can you see link references at the top now, Susan?
Yes.
Okay, good show. So everyone should be seeing, and you can mute your phone for the moment in case your phone rings or something. It will not bother us, and you're so handy on it. I'm happy to ask you that. That's great. But we've covered how to promote your website. That's in the resources on ICIWorld. How to market your website from point 2, we've covered that. But search engine optimization from Google, and we're going to briefly talk about that. Search engine optimization can be helped by, the key word is a little bit different. We're going to be doing some search engine optimization with Susan here in a moment. And we're going to go through what her site content is, where she's doing most of her work, and we're going to optimize some of the pages for the area in which she works and the kind of work that she does. And hopefully when people search those words that people might search for the kind of business that Susan does, that she has a better chance for her website to come up in what we call an organic or a free fashion. Now, you and I all know that it's very competitive out there, that a lot of people are already doing that. And so what we do is we get into these other things here called sponsored ads and pay-per-click ads. Now, you're going to see that there's free resources such as Webmaster Tools, Webmaster Central Blog, and a discussion forum, and Webmaster Guidelines, and how Google crawls and indexes and services the web. I could spend 3 hours on just that one subject alone. People, we can't do that here today. What I'm doing is opening up your eyes. Our mandate is to get you started knowing that this has to be done over the next year, one step at a time. Start by getting your business cards going and all these other little things. Do what you can do for now. Get that out of today's session, and you will be doing good, knowing that over the next year you can just sort of learn these things a little at a time. Basically, pay-per-click works like this. You set a budget with Google. And by the way, I'm going to reward you all for attending today. $100. I'm going to literally give you right now, mark this down, $100. Ask Google for $100. And just because I told you about it, they will give it to you. If you didn't know about it, you might never have got it. But now that you know, you will. So for attending this session, listening to this, you've actually picked up $100 in advertising on Google absolutely for free. We recommend that you sign up for an account and try some pay-per-click advertising. They will actually help you with the keywords, with the meta tags, and all of that kind of stuff. They will also help you with that. Now, if you do theoretically 3 months of advertising at $100, $200, or $300 a month, and if it comes out that you don't get anyone calling you, there is something drastically wrong, people. In fact, I wouldn't go past 30 days without calling Google, and I'm going to have you include me. You call Gary Nuska here at ICIWorld and say, I did a month of advertising with Google and I didn't get one lead out of it. I would like to hear about it, and I would like to set up a conference call with you and me and with Google. And I'm suggesting that because I am your assistant, if you want me to. I am totally your assistant, even though I've been a broker here for 40 years. Please consider me as your assistant. if at any time I get out of line or make suggestions that you're not interested in, just say, Gary, I'm not interested, and that's okay. I'm just giving you suggestions from being your assistant. My job and one of my functions is to help you make money. And so I'm learning all the things I can to do to be a person that can help you make this kind of money. So if you advertise in Google, and you will come up on the front page literally within 48 hours. Now, Susan, what community, you can come back online, Susan.
Yeah.
And what community are you located in?
Mississauga.
Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to switch the screen over to Susan's screen here. I got to find you in the list because we've got quite a few people here online today, and I found you. I'm going to make you the presenter, and if you could answer yes to show your screen, please. Thank you so much. And then I'm going to ask one more question, Susan. Hang on one second. I got to figure out how to do this. Where does it go here? Oh, yeah, you're in the other kind of over there. Hang on one second. Now, I'm going to request keyboard and mouse control.
Okay.
And now you don't have a USB headset and microphone,
No.
do you? Okay,
No,
so
I
you can
don't.
see other people that are listening, all of the feedback that we're getting, that the quality of the sound is just not good. And so, yes, we recommend that you get you might hear us clearly, Susan, but we're hearing feedback coming back, echoing all the time. And it's just not high quality sound, but we're going to continue with this session nevertheless. Okay, now the first thing you notice, there's a little to-do list here. You should look after your handshakes and those 5 new brokers that have come online. They might have come online within the last 24 to 48 hours, who knows? And you need to approve those because the listings from those brokers are not appearing on your website. But you're familiar with that, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay, the second thing you must do is I noticed that you have no listings on your website up here. Okay, and it's absolutely essential that you get 1 or 2 listings working on your website. Other brokers will not do handshakes sometimes with brokers that have no listings. But if you have listings, then you're contributing to the network. They're more likely to do the handshakes with you. If you want to see the level of handshakes that you're up to, you can go to Community, click on Handshakes, and we're actually going to get a number that you have 36 handshakes complete here out of 359 still to approve. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay, so in other words, if you watch, all of a sudden this 36 will go up dramatically once you get a couple of listings put on this website. The other thing is, you'll notice that this particular website, is this the website that we have supplied you here?
Yes.
Okay, very good. And this is her website, and you'll notice that there's a residential button here, and then you can actually search MLS right from her website. We've got the IDX links from Treb working, and that's great. So people will actually come to your website and search. And then if they want to search residential listings, they can click on that, and they'll see the widgets from ICIWorld. And if they are interested in Mississauga, they can click on that. Bingo, the listings come right up. And if somebody's interested in a home here, bingo, they can click on that. They're going to try to click on it, and guess what? They can't do it. That means that Susan is going to get a call. Somebody's going to say, Susan, I'm interested in message number 285197. Can you help me? And Susan will say, yes, I certainly can help you. I will have someone call you back, and then she can get a hold of the broker that's got that listing and say, I have a lead for you. Is a 25% referral commission okay with you? In actual fact, because you're in residential real estate, you're actually going to handle the call yourself, make an appointment, and go show that home. Okay, let's move on.
I have a question. How do I actually get in touch with the broker?
Okay, well, in this particular case, these listings are coming from ICIWorld. So you would simply copy that number, and then what I'm going to do is I'll open another window, and I'm going to go to ICIWorld because you've got it set up on your favorites bar, and I would go to the word search, and I think it's number 5. Number 5, search up message number, pop it in, bingo, search database, there it is. Click on the message number, and give
Okay.
that person a call, make an appointment, go show the property, and make $21,000 if it's 3% to your rent or 2.5%, whatever.
Okay.
Okay. Now let's go back here, and that all started from a lead right from here. All right. Now let's go up to let's go right back. These are all the pages that you can edit on this website. I'm going back to the home page because each page can be optimized. Now you'll notice that we have made a special page here called Mississauga Brampton. We can optimize the one page for Mississauga Brampton, or we can optimize the main home page for Mississauga Brampton, or we can do both. Right now I am looking at the main page for Susan here. This is the welcome page, and you'll see all of her contact information down here. And it says welcome to Keller Williams Realty Brokerage, your source for Mississauga real estate. Now what I'm going to do is to go up to a special button up to the top here that says page settings. Do you see that?
Yeah.
The page settings allows us to go in and analyze the page title, the media description, the media keywords, etc. Now, you cannot be all things to all people. You can't just say Greater Toronto Area and have people find Mississauga, because Greater Toronto Area brings up all of the communities around Toronto. If you want people who are looking for homes in Mississauga, is it possible that they're going to be, and probable that they're going to be searching Mississauga real estate?
Yeah.
So therefore, you should have Mississauga real estate in the title of your webpage.
But I want Greater Toronto as well.
That's there's going to be an issue here. I'm letting you know there's an issue. You want to do it, you're going to have to do some pay-per-click here. The competition is severe. The point is, if somebody is searching Mississauga real estate, you've got to start optimizing for Mississauga real estate by having Mississauga in the page title. Here's what you can do. Let's go back. Let's go to the Mississauga page. Do you want to optimize this page for Mississauga?
Sure.
There we go. We're going to go to the page settings. And we're going to go to this Mississauga Brampton, which you've got in the page name. And I would remove that, and you're going to put in here Mississauga Brampton. Why don't we say homes, condos, and real estate for sale. Now, if somebody searches Mississauga or Brampton real estate or homes or condos, that is in your title.
Okay.
You have a chance for this page to come up.
Uh-huh.
It's in the page name, Mississauga Brampton. Now, you've got now you don't have homes and condos down here. Well, you do have homes for sale, but I'm going to suggest that we take it right here, and the fast, quick, and easy way to do it is just to pop it right into the beginning. Bingo. Leave all of these other items in here to be searched. In the meta description, put them all in there to be searched. Should always leave a space after a comma. There you go. We have just optimized this page by the page title, by the meta description, and by the meta keywords. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Now, what's not happening is having a domain name pointed directly to this page. So the domain name is not pointed to this page. The only way that you can point it to a page is if you have the professional website, which is $49 a month, $50 basically a month, or $500 a year, I think it is. You can point MississaugaBramptonRealEstate.com, if you had a name like that, to your main website, no problem. But to this particular individual page, you would require the professional website. Do you understand?
Yes.
Nevertheless, this page is now optimized. 1, 2, 3, 4 items are optimized. But there's one more thing to do, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to click on OK down here. And we're going to go to the first page on the screen. Now, the information that comes up here are Mississauga, Brampton homes. Look at that. I mean, if you had pay-per-click and somebody searches Mississauga and you come up and they click on it, it's going to bring up this page, and somebody, say, clicks on it. Bingo, this is an exclusive listing that's not on MLS. There's your name, there's your telephone number over here. And they start to see the interior of this home. I mean, this is what I call the ultimate in marketing on the internet. You tell me if this isn't fantastic. Okay, so it brings people directly to relevant material. That's what Google wants. Google wants relevant material. Now, one more thing that I learned, and this was a $4,000 lesson, which I'm going to show you. I'm going to go to edit the header. We've got Mississauga, Brampton, homes and condos, and real estate for sale. Now you've got it in the title on the page. You know something? I wonder if we can even put it there. Just hang on 1 second here. And bold it. Hang on. And I'm going to say, for information on Mississauga, Brampton, homes and condos, real estate for sale, call Susan. Did I spell it right? You sales representative?
Yep.
Now, there's a reason I'm doing this, people. I'm going to show you why in a minute. This is part of a major lesson that we learned. What's it? Keller Williams Associates, or what is it?
Keller Williams. There's an S on Williams.
Oh, yeah, I missed. Okay. Associates?
Yeah, Real Estate Associates. No, it's Real Estate Associates.
Okay. Inc?
Brokerage.
Brokerage. Okay. And what's your phone number, please?
905.
Yep.
812. 8123.
Now, watch what I'm doing. First of all, let me just move this over there. Okay, there we go. I'm going to highlight everything here, and I want to make it in a little bigger size. I'm going to make it 14, and I'm going to bold it. And watch this. I'm going to go down and click OK. Now, when we look at that page, actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to preview the website. So this is what people will see when they come to this page. So in other words, we've optimized the page because all of those items at the top of the page are being searched by the spiders of each of the search engines. They're going to find Mississauga, Brampton, homes and condos and real estate for sale. They're going to find it in the title, in the meter cat, the description. They're going to find it. And they're going to find it on the front page of this page. And they're going to find it throughout the page. This makes this website relevant, this page relevant to Google and all the search engines of the world. And that's one of the major sessions today. How to optimize. Now let me go over it again. Let me go back to edit website. All of you must get the page settings for all of these items here. 1, 2, 3, 4 items. The name, the title, the description, the keywords, the domain name, and the first sentence on the page bolded in bigger letters. Can you imagine that? Google, if one website can have it in small print, but if you have it bolded in big print, you have an edge over those people. That was a $4,000 lesson I'm talking about. And doing it in the domain name and all those 6 items. Now, I'm going to let you all mark those down. I'm going to have a short drink of water. In fact, I'm going to open it up for questions here. I'm going to stop here. Actually, we're 12:23. I'm going to open it up I'm going to finish off and then open it up for questions. Hang on. Okay, you got all of that, Susan? This is very exciting. because now
Yeah,
you're
thank
getting the very basics of how search engine pages, individual pages, can be optimized within a website. So this, I want to thank you so much, Susan, for volunteering your website. This is a great lesson for every single member on our network. Just wonderful. I'm now going to switch the computer back to me. And you'll find that you're going to talk to Google. You can talk to Google when you do your pay-per-click about what you're doing on your websites to help them. And they're going to give you a lot of advice. Now, we've hired a contractor to also that has 2 former vice presidents or people that worked at a high level at Google, and we're going to be working with them as well to keep because we've got so many things going on worldwide. There's a lot more work that we have to do here to kind of do work on our site as well. But let me move on. Okay, we're going to go back to here, and we're going to move along fairly quickly now over the next various screens that we have here, because we're basically winding down this session now, giving you a taste of what's going on the internet. So driving traffic to your website, we know, is a very profitable adventure. Get excited. You hand out a business card or talk to somebody. You could be in line at a donut shop having a cup of coffee, and you say, by the way, if you're ever interested in buying or selling any real estate in the next 1 to 5 years, you should make sure you visit my website because I've got exclusive listings as well as MLS. And next thing you know, they'll take your card and you tell them you got color photos and slideshow displays of all the properties in the area. And if you ever want an idea of what price a home you can handle, I'm happy to. You should be qualified so you know exactly how much you can afford. And there's ways to get things with no money down. And you could talk to them about all the things that you as a broker would talk to them about in your coaching clinics, because I know a lot of you, some of you have coaches to do these things, and you can bring up that there. A keyword-rich name, having those names in those same terms can be in your domain name, can help you. Handing out your business cards, the more you hand out, the better chance you have. But make sure you don't just make sure they know what's on your website. Every business card isn't the same. They'll treat it differently if they know what's on your website. If you're with a bunch of builders sitting down having dinner at a builders meeting or one of the construction associations, you let them know that you got 600 pieces of development land, infill sites all around the Greater Toronto area, if that's where you are, and they're all on your website listed. They're going to take your business card and they will visit. They will go through that list. Even if they don't know how to operate a computer, they will get their assistant to go get the printout of all the pieces of land you've got. Tell them that you have new listings coming in daily on your website, 50 to 150 new listings. So even though they visited your website once, by next week, there's new listings. So they've got to come back to your website and check out things. Again, that's driving more traffic to your website. Placing keywords and meta tags, we've just covered that. The next time someone searches those words, and that takes time to build up in the search engines because they're measuring all of these words to give your website a relevance and placement with all the other websites that they're checking. And you know what it means too, people? By the way, with these sponsored ads, you can be up to the top of the search engine literally within 48 hours. Let's say you had a $200 budget for 1 month. You really wanted to try it out because you wanted to get a buyer or two and make $20,000. Would you gamble $200 to try it? Well, if you do a campaign and you spend $200, you put $200 on deposit with Google, and if it was $1 a click, you can get it less, you can pay more. It depends on what you bid. You are the determinant of what is being bid. But let's say it was $1 a click. Would you pay $1 a click if somebody clicked on it, used up $1, they ended up coming to your website, they called you, you qualified them, you develop a business relationship, you sell them a home and make $15,000. Was it worth it? Obviously, yes. Would you spend $100 in that month to do it? Obviously, yes. $200, $300, $500. If you're going to make $15,000, would you spend $1,000 to make $15,000? I'm telling you now, brokers are doing it. They're doing $1,000 a month budgeting in pay-per-click engines, getting those leads and servicing them before they even get to you. That is happening today. One broker I know has made over $350,000. He's spending $1,000 a month on pay-per-click search engine optimization. Do you have to spend that or more to make that kind of money? Those are questions that can be asked by everybody in the industry. But why not get involved? Maybe offer 50 cents a click. Offer something and try to do it. But if you don't get leads, that's where I'd like to be called. I want to know, if you're not getting leads, why are you not getting leads? Because I know from being a broker for 40 years that you have the best and most powerful website on the planet Earth. You've got exclusive and residential and MLS, residential and commercial. You're covering the whole marketplace here, all in the way that they have to call you. Unlike other brokers that don't have this stuff, the rest of the industry does not have it. So you have an advantage, particularly over the next little while. So maybe now's the time to really try to do this with Google while you have a major advantage. So you set a budget. When somebody searches Mississauga real estate, in your case, Susan, your website will come up. And then if they don't click on it, it does not cost any money. So for your website to come up costs zero. It's only when they click on it that it costs money. And so if 50 people click on it and you had a budget of 200, you still have $150 left. And if that's what you have left at the end of the month and you only had 50 clicks, you've still got $150 left. Now, Google, the reason why they're so rich and getting richer is they'll make it a point to try to get traffic for that other 150 bucks. They're going to try to use it up. That's why I want to keep Google honest. I want to keep them triggering valid, legitimate, qualified buyers to your website. If somebody searches Mississauga real estate, hopefully they're really searching and they really want to find homes. And when they get to your website, they will find it. Mind you, you've got to get your handshakes up a little bit more. Let's move on.
Yeah, I've only been in the business
Gary, may I stop you here?
2 months, so.
Yes. Very good, Susan. Thank you. And we do have a question. Identify your first name first.
Yes, Gary, this is Latif speaking.
Yes, Latif, go ahead. Questions. And by the way, people, we're going to open things up now as we wind down here. Go ahead.
How would you get Google to spend up the rest $150 or so?
Basically, Google, okay, here's how it works, and that's a good question. Thank you for answering. Let's go back to Google, and let's say somebody types in.
If the clickers are original and legitimate.
Okay. Let me just show you how the pay-per-click works and see how your question relates to how it works. Let's say somebody searches Mississauga real estate. There's 16 million results. See that? Pay-per-click puts you right on top. Bingo, right there. Within 48 hours. Okay? Within 48 hours, you can be here. Now, down the right-hand side, you see this word here, ads?
Yeah.
These are also pay-per-click ads down the right-hand side. There they are. So these ads up at the top are pay-per-click ads. And then these ads down this side are also pay-per-click ads. Okay? Now, there's another kind of search that you can do here. The site is safe. Okay, so that's nice to know. There's Mark. Do you know Mark Argentino, by the way, Susan?
No, I don't.
Okay, so he's a specialist in Mississauga. You can see how fast his information kind of comes up.
I'm sorry, Gary. I'm going to have to leave now.
Okay, that's fine. We're actually at 12:30. We're actually over our time here. So away you go, and I'm going to wind down here very, very quickly. And for the purposes of completing this recording, I'm going to end it very shortly here. Just explain this and then take questions right after it, if you don't mind, Latif. I've got to finish this session because of the recording. But I wanted to show that if somebody clicks on this page right here, it could be $1 come off your budget. So Google will arrange all of these websites in a way that they get a lot of clicks and use up your budget. And then they get to keep the money. But in the meantime, if somebody clicks on one of these listings, they can end up going to your website. And if they go to your website, they should be interested in something that you have. And if you're not getting calls, it's got to be something wrong, because you all have listings that are in Mississauga if you have a Mississauga website. So that's how that sort of works. Somebody can click on that. This happens to be point 2, and there's some more information there. And this is called neighborhoods over here. This is another way that you can do business with point 2 agent, is by having your website come up here on one of their neighborhoods. I can't get into that in details. I can only cover it on a overview basis, because there's just too much to cover in a whole session that we're doing. It really needs a whole day session to cover all this stuff. Oopsie daisy, I didn't want to click on that. Let me just get through this session, please, people, and then I'm going to open it up for questions. I'm actually over the time. I'm hustling to try to get through here. Sorry. Domain names, we talked about all of those big 5 things, domain names to cover. We've handing out your business cards. This is a quick review. Selling the content that's on your website, very important. The meta tags and the keywords, very important. We've covered that. Pay-per-click, we've covered that. Get started, learn how that works. They will provide you with search tools so that you can see the number of clicks coming up for each keyword search. They will provide you with that, called Google Analytics. It's a great tool, and you'll get it free to get started. You can have more than one website. If you're making money from all your websites, getting lead from all your websites, why not? And you can link them as well together. You can use different kinds of email programs and faxing to send out items to the industry. Newsletters, join builders associations, join associations, let them all know about your website. Related professional groups, let them all know about it. Social media, let them all know about it, get it developed, put the links in there. Publicity, advertising, that's a no-brainer. Study the keywords that people want. Don't try to trick the search engines. That can get you into trouble and get you blacklisted, actually. Finding keywords, you'll find that out with Google, the keywords. Linking to other sites back and forth is very important. Even sites like ICIWorld that's at the top in the search engines, back and forth will help give weight to your website as well. Reciprocal links, there's a lot of different examples of where you can do them. The domain name video we've talked about, you can all see that later. Bad designs, we don't need that. It used to be a problem at one time. I might even remove that. Click fraud has been stopped to a certain extent, great time, but if you don't get leads after spending money, I'm going to question it. And our pledge, if you're not getting leads or developing leads every 90 days, please give us a call. We really would like to know about it. At the end of this session, when I close it off and when you close your computer, you should get a survey. If you don't mind filling it in, we really love your feedback in consideration for us doing this seminar. Now, there's your $100 of free advertising. Make sure you ask Google for it, and they'll help you towards your budget of free advertising. And they'll talk to you also about Google Maps as well, and that's another way to kind of promote your website. The survey will come to you after you sign up. Have a great day. Let us know of your successes. We really love to hear about all your successes. In fact, I like to be the first one to congratulate you. I've had that opportunity many, many times. I just enjoy congratulating you when you collect your check for helping somebody. That completes our session for today. I'm actually going to stop the recording here. Just put the recording back on. Okay, we've just wound down the seminar now. We're going to ask just a little feedback from some of the people that are online of one thing that you feel that you got out of today's session. And I'll start with you, Latif. Go ahead.
It's actually the optimization, the as they call the tips and tricks, how to optimize your site and to appear on the Google search engine.
Very good.
Yeah.
Anything else? We can have other people now offer before you leave. If you could give us one thing that you felt benefit you today. How about Alex? Are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Gary. Thank you very much, first of all, for your session.
Thank you so much for saying that.
Yeah, and I will definitely get in touch with Google, and will try to promote, to give the second life to my website. I mean, more efficient, and I have some, I think, not bad domain, timetobuyCA, which could be promoted, on Google.
Yes.
And I want to know the way how to do it more efficiently.
Very good.
So I will get in touch with him for sure. I will put some money on my budget, from my budget, and we'll try it, how it works for sure.
Very good, and keep me informed. I like to hear about it.
Okay, thank you, Gary.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Alex. How about Afsana? You can unmute your phone there, Afsana. How about Heather? Kathy? Some of the other people that are online here? Heather? Sherman? Oh, I can hardly hear you. I guess there's a little problem hearing you. We actually cannot hear you. It's so low for some reason. Oh boy, here we go. Maybe we're hearing it now. It sounds like the water is running. Okay, so it doesn't look like that's working too good on your side there, the microphone. Okay, so we have some issues there.
The water washed her away.
Actually, it's not hers that's doing it. It might be somebody else's. Anyone else like to comment on what one thing that they learned today to contribute here? Mona? Anyone?
Yes, Gary, thanks for everything.
Okay.
And I really appreciated the optimization. I've taken a lot of notes so that I can go back to my website and make sure things are better.
Yes.
So, and about the handshakes to make sure that we are checking that. So this was great. Thank you so very much.
Yeah, that's
Have a
great.
blessed Christmas.
And the very same to you. All the best.
Thanks.
Anyone else before we leave?
Hi, Gary. This is Afsana.
Yes, Afsana, go ahead. Maybe one thing that you learned today.
Yeah, that was very good for me because I'm just started. You know, my website is just in the first step, stage, and I have to ask for your help for the rest of that. But I take a lots of notes to look at my website and improve it. You know, it's just.
And you know, that's the most important thing. All of these ideas, all of these concepts, don't worry if you don't learn them all at once. It's impossible to learn them all at once. I spent a whole week with search engine people learning all these things. And that was a whole week. So, but what you can feel good about is that there are resources here that you can learn over a period of time, and you can check in and you measure everything. Are you getting leads from your website? Are you doing referrals? Because you have listings in the whole province or the whole state, depending on where you're from, you should be getting leads all over. You know, for here, this, that, and the other thing. And if you're doing referrals and making referral checks, then you know things are working fine, that your website is helping people, providing a good service, helping them find properties that they maybe never otherwise would have found. Power of sales. I mean, you've got them all on your websites. So promoting it is very important. If there is no other people here, I'll count down from 3 to 1, and if there's no other questions, then we're going to sign off and say thank you for the opportunity, people. Wish you all the best of the season, and this session will be conducted again next month, and I will record it. It will be in the training video private sections for members only. And
Gary?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, just one short one. It's Alex.
Yes, Alex,
So,
go ahead.
regarding the domain names, right?
Yes.
I got my website, so I should have at least 5 domain names which would be linked to my website, right?
You can have more than one domain name linked to your website. You're absolutely correct. You can do that, yes.
And how can I get those domains? Can I discuss with you which would work better, you know, in my scenario? And
yes, actually, you know, there's a couple of things you can do. When you can actually open up a Google account.
Mm-hmm.
And when
I got 3 Google accounts.
Okay, when you open up a Google account and talk with Google, one of the things they have is something special called Google Analytics.
Mm-hmm.
And in the Google Analytics, you can analyze what are the best terms. Now, this brings up an important matter, and I'm glad that you brought it up. The number one thing that you should know is you don't have to have the most popular search term. Let's say that somebody was searching a particular neighborhood within your city.
Okay.
All right. If they're searching a neighborhood, you could optimize your website for that neighborhood. Let's say it was only Etobicoke in Toronto.
Okay.
You could optimize Etobicoke. Let's say it was High Park. You could optimize for High Park real estate in Toronto. In other words, you can optimize for lesser known keywords. But I mean, let's say that there was 50 clicks for maybe High Park real estate. You only need one of those clicks to make money. So
Yeah, agree.
don't think it just has to be a major city like Toronto or Miami or Los Angeles or Vancouver to have the big names. You can actually have a small name and get those leads coming to your community. So keep that in mind. Excellent question. Now, I'm going to stop the recording now in the essence of time because we've gone over our little time. And that completes our session. Anybody that's interested, go to ICIWorld.com and you can click on for members and see all the things that we provide to members to help them in their service to the public. I'll just say we have one more person who has something to say about the seminar today, about what they may have learned. Go ahead, Kathy.
Yeah, one thing that I learned is you can pay per click to Google. And this is like all along I was thinking that you have to have somebody to just optimize your search and like a website.
Yes.
And so this way I think probably that's the easiest way to get your website, up to closer to the front page.
Yes. You can actually be up within 48 hours. It's possible on the pay-per-click. And that's very exciting. And the key thing is to measure the results immediately. Let me know how you do. I'm very interested to follow this up and to make sure that you're benefiting from it.
And then we just call Google or just email Google?
Yep, you can call Google and just get a hold of them and get some and talk to them about pay. Open up a free account to get started and get Google Analytics working. And they have a way of putting measuring tools on your website so that you can see if there is any increase in traffic. However, all of the websites that we supply also have a statistical program to measure people that visit your website. So if you have one of the websites from ICI World, there actually is a statistical program where you can see the traffic that goes to your website. Okay, we'll finish the seminar at this point and continue on with questions. One moment. This now completes it. All information can be found at ICIWorld.com, and for licensed real estate brokers and salespeople, click on for members and you'll see all the services there with examples of websites and widgets and everything else going on. Okay, so I've stopped the recording again. Any further questions, Kathy?
Yeah, like how does it, like when you say open up a free account,
you can open up a free account with Google.
Okay, so is that like can I use the existing like a Google account or no? Like how do I
you will be using. You can use your existing Google Gmail account if that's what you mean, but you'll be talking to a Google advertising representative.
Okay, so how do I open? Like I call them to open up an account or?
Yes.
Okay, I see.
Any problems getting a hold of them, you can get back to me.
Sure.
But I now do have to finish the session because, believe it or not, we've got other things getting started here. And invite us in to do a seminar in your office all over again. If we haven't been there recently, invite us in and we'll do another seminar in your office.
Yeah, okay, great. Thank you very much, Gary, and all the best. Thank you for taking the time and happy holidays.
And the very same to you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye now.
Bye now. That completes our session for today. We will now be signing off.